All right, we are live. Everybody, please just give me a moment if you're just hopping on. I'm just going to share to a couple groups, and then I'm going to introduce to you my special guest that I have on today. If you are just hopping on, please let us know who you are, where you're from, and we would love to say hi to you. And also, too, if you feel like this conversation about abundance is going to be beneficial for anybody you know or friends and family and that kind of thing, please definitely take a moment and just share it to any of your groups or on your personal page or what have you. So just give me a couple moments here. I'm going to take about 30 seconds. It always is the boring part, but I need to do it.
Gotta get everything going.
And let's see here. Genevieve, I get you to introduce yourself, but I kind of want to introduce you because I feel like I'm going to just amp you up.
Sounds good.
Okay, give me just a few. I'm going to share to 3 more groups here that I really enjoy.
Sure, no hurry.
It's a casual conversation about making money, having an abundant life. So We'll have a good conversation here.
Absolutely.
So let's see. Again, if you guys are just hopping on, please let us know where you're from. I love to know where people are from when I'm doing a live. I think that's super fun. And
it looks like we have a comment already, which is great.
Perfect. Can you read it? I'm not on that screen at the moment. If not, I can grab it in just 1 second.
This is from Sally Gardner-Smith. Hi, Sally. So glad you joined us.
We are glad that you joined us. Okay, so happy Thursday, everybody. Sarah Marie Thompson here from wildandcreative.com. And I'm a creative lifestyle expert and soul guide. And today I have with me a special guest, Genevieve Kohn. And let me kind of give you a little bit of let me give you Genevieve's bio in a sense. So she's an abundance creation guide. And she also facilitates the program. She's a Creating Money practitioner for the Creating Money program. She's truly passionate about helping women change their lives through the awareness of abundance creation and harmonious living. And through abundance creation, she knows that you can have more of what you want, more health, more wealth, more happiness, more you fill in the blank. So also, we would love for you to fill in the blank for us. What more do you want in your life, including abundance, including wealth, right? So anyway, thank you so much for joining us today. We have someone from Birmingham, UK. Awesome. Thank you, Sally, for commenting on there. Please let us know if you are watching again, where you're from. We'd love to know. But I'd love to introduce Genevieve. Thank you so much for joining me here.
Thanks so much for having me here, Sarah. This is really fun already.
Cool. So I know that we're going to have a lot of people hopping on and off, probably not off as much as on, but also watching the replay as well as this kind of goes out. And this is a really big topic for a lot of people. I find that, there's a lot of entrepreneurs online, and there's also a lot of people that, haven't dived into a business yet online, and maybe they're, they have a job that they love or don't love, whatever their story is. But what do you think the real premises to being happy, you know what I mean, with the amount of money that's coming into your life? Where do you think that kind of ease and flow happens, or even that kind of just happiness spot?
In order to be happy, we definitely need to cultivate more happiness with where we are right now. So a great way to do that excuse me, is something as simple as, for example, I have a roof over my head, I have food on my table or in my fridge, I have family, or I have friends around me. It can be really that basic, because
really diving into I'm just echoing that. Really diving into the gratitude piece.
Absolutely, and it really is so simple. It's literally it's as simple as you can be grateful for the things that are in your direct environment right now. So instead of focusing outward, it's more focusing inward. It's focusing, even looking around the room that you're sitting in. You say, wow, this is a pretty cool paint, on my wall. I go over to my fridge, like I mentioned, there's food in there. I have people in my life who love me. So it's a great place to start, because when we start from that place, we can easily, because we have the energy that we've kind of raised our vibration to, of gratitude. And whatever energy we're vibrating at, that's the energy that we're going to attract.
Nice. I see that. Sorry, I'm just echoing here. How does that happen? I've got Lisa Marie Pepe joining us. Hey, Lisa, thank you for joining us here. Genevieve, tell us about your backstory. Like, how did you even get into the work that you're doing now? What were the stepping stones that brought you to this point right now?
Well, for me, I had been an energy healer for, I've probably been one since 2002. And I was very grateful for that. And also I'm a mom, and I'm married. And so I've had great gratitude for all that. I'm very, very passionate about gratitude in general. So as far as the abundance creation part of it, I realized about 4 years ago, maybe 4.5 years ago, that I had kind of hit a wall. And literally, actually, what I hit was another car.
Oh, wow.
So what happened was, I had been pretty severely sleep deprived, because I had been up half the night for weeks worrying about money, worrying about my dwindling checking account, worrying about how am I going to pay, the bills that are coming due that, in that month. And I got to the point where I was so exhausted and so much in a rush in this one moment in my car. I was rushing to get somewhere. I knew I was late, and I wasn't even really watching where I was going. The monkey mind was going. Mm-hmm. And I didn't see that the traffic ahead of me had stopped. So slammed on the brakes, and it was kind of too late. I slammed into the person next to me. So I rear-ended somebody. Fortunately, nobody was hurt. So I'm very, very grateful for that. But at that moment, I'm like, okay, something's got to change here. Because I literally had driven myself crazy worrying about money. So that was a big turning point for me.
I have such a funny yet similar story. If I move my mic back. It's totally same story. It was so funny. This happened years and years and years ago. And I remember I was just, really bummed out about whatever finances. I was like looking at my credit card. I was like, I have $4,000 on my card. I was like thinking that it's like the end of the world. Yep. And this was a long time ago before I knew any better. And $4,000 on my card, and I was just dwelling on it so much. I was like really getting into it, feeling bad about it. And I remember I was like, I feel so bad. Like, what can I do? Like, I'm going to go get a massage. So I went up to this place on the hill to get a massage. And during the massage, I remember not enjoying it at all. I was so worried still, you know what I mean? And I was not taking the time to just, unplug just for a moment, right? Because that's what the massage was for. But anyway, so I felt like I wasted money there again and walking out. It's like, I didn't relax. And I come down the hill, and exact same thing. I just at a light slammed into somebody. And I remember slamming into them. I was like, oh, damn you, law of attraction. Like, that's the first thing that I thought to myself, right? Because I knew that I brought it on. Like, I knew that I created it. And it was a really kind of funny seeing those little events happen, because you can kind of see, of course that was going to happen, right? Like, I was in a crazy, horrible state. So what did that lesson then, really give you for you to now be an abundance creation guide for other people?
When I had realized finally that I created that situation, I had finally, it just was at that point where, okay, I literally slammed against something, but this way of life is not working for me. Mm-hmm. And I knew about the law of attraction. I've been studying it, since I started energy healing school. And I knew that there had to be a flip side here. There had to be another way. So I started to focus more on solutions rather than problems.
Nice.
And it was hilarious in a way, because it was something that I keep, for years and years have been teaching my kids. But let's go to the solution. Don't focus on the problem. But in that moment before I caused that car accident, I was just focusing on the problem.
Totally.
I'm really grateful that I was able to make that choice to go, okay, there's got to be a solution here. So then my quest really began to, how do I make the law of attraction and the other universal laws work for me, instead of just saying, well, I brought it on myself.
Yeah. Well, so when it comes to choosing solutions instead of the problem, right? Like really looking at the solutions instead of the problem, what's a really good way people can kind of just start there? Because I think that when people are in that crazed mindset, right, it's hard to think of the solutions, right? Or it's hard to kind of snap yourself out of it and kind of step back from the bubble and be like, okay, I can be mindful about this. Like, what can I do now, right? So what is like a good starting point if someone's feeling as though crazy stuff's happening right now?
I would definitely suggest
financially.
Yes, especially because that's a really it's kind of a hornet's nest for a lot of people. It's a complicated issue. It doesn't have to be, though. I would suggest definitely, like I mentioned before, being grateful for what you have, what's currently in your life. And I would also recommend that one focus on, how do I want to feel? Because it's a very important thing. And I would even suggest going a little bit farther. I would suggest taking a few minutes, close your eyes, get into a quiet space. How do I want to feel? How do I want my life to look? And notice that if you're doing that, if you do that, your vibration is going to shift even more than just focusing on what you already have.
Money's a tricky thing, right? Because I hope you can hear me okay. I'm moving my mic back. Money's a tricky thing because I find that the universe needs us to allocate money for specific things so that we get our mind wrapped around, okay, how could this change our life? So that we can kind of feel into that, right? So when someone's just asking for more money, like, I want $1 million, I want whatever, like even $50,000, it doesn't matter. But if in your mind you're thinking to yourself, that'd be cool. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but whatever, right? And it's not like I need $50,000 for whatever. Either I'm going to put it in this bank account, it's going to be for this. Like it kind of gets like a different kind of momentum going, right? Is that something that you teach in your work? Like, do you kind of dive into like the pinpointing of like the allocation of things like that?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. It's one of the things that I think is really important to do. You don't have to have it all mapped out, from step 1 to, let's say, step 12 or whatever it may be. But it's very important to get specific about what you want and when you want it, because the universe likes specifics. The universe doesn't really understand generalizations. Like just saying, for example, if one wants to be wealthy, just saying, I want to be wealthy. It's not, the universe doesn't know what to do with that.
What does that mean?
I'm sorry?
What does that really mean, right? Wealthiness.
Exactly, because it means different things to different people.
So I know that on a live I did actually, I think it was yesterday, I was talking about, or maybe it was another day ago, I can't remember, but it was something about, when you are asking for things in life, I always talk about contradictions and a lot of the lives and the work that I do, but when you're asking for something in life, you really do have to be very specific with the universe. Like you said, you have to treat it as though you're talking to a friend or even your spouse or your partner, right? If you say, why didn't you do that? Like, I told you to go clean up the yard, and they go and like trim hedges or something like that instead of raking, you can't be mad at that because you weren't specific as to what you wanted, right? So you can't be emotionally charged around that, but we do get emotionally charged, especially around money, right? When we're thinking to ourselves, oh, I need a certain amount of money every month for this and it's not coming, and I've asked for it to be wealthy and I don't know what's going on. But realistically, right now you're probably extremely wealthy when it comes to a third world country. It's all a perspective, right?
Exactly. It is all relative. And that's why in the beginning, I advise that people make it that basic. Because there are people that unfortunately do not have a roof over their head. They do not have food to eat. And especially if you are in what is called a first world country, whatever that means, like say America or somebody on here from the UK. Most of the time, we have it a lot better than a lot of people in the world. I mean, there are millions upon millions of people, possibly billions, that do not have what we have. So it's a great place to start.
That's where the gratitude come in too, right? I mean, even just simply listening to what you said there, I mean, having the gratitude of, I actually have a home, or I have a place to live right now, or, you know, like something, looking at the little things that are going well for you, because we all know that if you dwell on the things that aren't going well for you, you're just going to attract more things that don't go well for you. Because the way that the energy of the universe works is that when you are feeling the feelings and omitting the frequency around what's happening, it's going out into the universe, but it's boomeranging back to you, giving you more of what you're feeling. So I know for me, and I've shared this funny story before, and this happened at this is exactly the same time as when I crashed my car, and I told you about that. It was very shortly after the book The Secret came out. And I was studying the book and learning all about it, and I was getting really crazy with it. Like I was getting really worried. I was letting my mind spin off into a million different directions. I was constantly overanalyzing everything I was thinking, and always thinking, I'm thinking a negative thought. Oh my gosh, something's happening. You know, like, and moving into like that kind of spiral, right? And it took me a couple months actually to get out of that crazy mindset, because I had to remind myself, look, you've been attracting things you've wanted your whole life. You didn't even realize the secret. You know what I mean? Like, and when we're just kind of in the flow and feeling good and making choices based on feeling good, that's when great things happen. So when we overanalyze, like, that's where like the heaviness can come in, right?
It absolutely can. And I also, of course, got totally into The Secret when it first came out around 2006, I believe. What is really missing, though, in that, unless perhaps I missed something, is what to actually do about it. It's not just, The Secret isn't just sitting and imagining and visualizing, which is a very important place to start. However, there are actions to take as well. So we can't just sit on our couch, as much as I'd love to do that, and imagine that our life is going to change the way we want it to. So it's visualization, it's, you know, the beginning of the energetic attraction. However, if no action happens, the full attraction won't.
Well, that's the funny thing, because I often talk about contradictions, like I said, and that's the thing that the Secret never taught us, was looking at our contradictions, right? Like, we can be saying, I'm abundant, I'm abundant, I'm abundant. But, you know, realistically, if on the other side of things, you know, you are coupon clipping, you know, out of worry, and you're, being very penny pinching, like in areas you don't need, like, that's not feelings of abundance, right? So it really did forget to teach us about like that connection, right? About making sure that our physical actions and our desires or our thoughts were actually meeting up. Because when you're doing something, one thing, but you're saying, you know, your 100 affirmations about how you're really, really rich, and this is not like computing, it's not going to work for you, right?
Exactly. And it's really about, and it's a process. It's a learning process, but it doesn't have to be a long one. It really doesn't. It just is about, if you're constantly saying, okay, when's it going to happen? When's it going to happen? How come this isn't working? That's what the universe is hearing. The universe is hearing, this isn't working.
Right.
So you're going to get more of that. It's going to be almost as if you are in a tennis match with somebody who keeps hitting you back in the face. So it's really counterproductive.
So you have something going on right now that's going to be really, really beneficial for a lot of people. Anybody really, but the folks that are specifically finding it tricky right now to bring more abundance into their life, more money into their life, more great opportunities, more amazing experiences. You have something for them that's going on very, very soon. So what is that?
It is my free 3-day Ultimate Abundance Challenge. And what we're going to do is you're going to get 3 days of emails, one on each day. And we're going to take a look at where you're where you currently are with your money consciousness. And we will, on the subsequent days, we will start to shift that for you.
Nice. So I know that the material that you'll be going through with them within the 3 days of this challenge is actually quite life-changing material, right? I know that a lot of challenges that people take, the material is just very soft. It's just kind of like, wah, wah, but I've seen your material, and I think that, when someone is, I'm not going to say new to the idea, but when someone is in that state where it's really hard to get out of, right? When you allow yourself and say yes to the universe and say, yes, I'm going to immerse myself in this 3-day challenge, I'm going to give it all I've got, I guarantee you that people are going to see some changes in their life. Absolutely.
I'm sure they will. And what's great about it is it is profound. However, it's gentle.
Mm-hmm.
And what's great about it also is that you can reach me by email or in my group, on my Facebook group. It's called Abundance Creation with Genevieve. So, and you'll be able to get support when and if you need it. And then I think it's going to be on Friday of that week, which will be a couple of days, after the last day of the challenge. We're going to have a Q&A wrap-up call. So you'll be able to ask anything that you want to ask, and you'll be able to get more information about what you can do if you want to continue to shift into the vibration of abundance and shift further away from the vibration of lack. Because, of course, we know that vibration does not work.
Awesome. Hopefully it's going to show the comment here. Where did it go? I'm not sure. I just posted the link to your group, your Facebook group, so that people can join there. Let me just make sure that actually went through. I can't see it on my end because we're on kind of a different program here, but let me just take a peek.
I can see it.
Oh, okay, perfect. And then do you know the quick link for your challenge, for people to get into your challenge?
I do. It's bit.ly.
Okay, bit.ly, yeah.
/ultimate abundance CH.
Ultimate Abundance CH.
Yes.
Hopefully I got that right there. Nice. So everybody that is watching and will be watching the replay, please make sure you join Genevieve's group, and also please make sure you join her challenge. It's completely free. It's happening next week. It's starting on the day of the full moon. And Genevieve, why did you choose the full moon for the start of your program or your challenge?
Well, I love the full moon. I absolutely love it because for me, it has the energies, releases the energies of manifestation.
Mm-hmm.
Things are almost as if they're in full bloom. And what I love in this part of the world, in the northern hemisphere here, we just started getting into spring. So things literally are blooming. Things that we want to have happen are at that beautiful, ripe energy for us to start to kick the things into gear that we want to. So that's why I was so excited about doing it at the full moon.
Awesome. I love that you brought in that element because you definitely are a spiritual person. You definitely are, very tuned into energy. Like you said, you're a light worker, you're an energy healer, all that kind of thing, right? And so it's so nice that you have those qualities and the knowledge and the knowing, and then you've also brought it into, more of the, I'm not going to say it's completely masculine energy, money, right? But it is more so, right? And so you really have that nice balance there. And with the challenge, especially, you're going to be showing people, how to really blend those energies, right? And also, you have a few other things going on in your life as well. You have a podcast called Reclaim Your Health, right? Which is, can you give us a little bit of detail on that podcast? Like, what is the premise of that?
Sure. With Reclaim Your Health, what we do is we show women how they can literally take their own health into their own hands on the physical, spiritual, and emotional levels. And it's so great for us to be able to do that. We've got some amazing guests, including yourself, Sarah. I have to find out when your podcast is going to be launching. I'm thinking it'll probably be live at least within the next few weeks. So nice. I can definitely let you know about that for sure. But yeah, it's such a great podcast because we have some absolutely amazing guests. So sometimes it's somebody who helps women reclaim their health on the physical, sometimes on the spiritual, sometimes on the emotional. Sometimes it can be any combination of the three. And we really get to the point of each podcast where we like to remind ourselves and our listeners that we really need to reclaim our own health. You know, it's kind of like, you know, wanting the law of attraction to work. There needs to be some action. So if nobody's going to reclaim our health for us. Nobody is going to attract what we want into our lives for us. But the great thing is that we can get the information and the guidance that we need to do it ourselves.
It's so important that people really do take the action, right? Because again, when it comes to contradictions, I always kind of bring up that story of, you know, there's a girl sitting on a couch complaining that she never finds the love of her life, yet she never leaves her house, right? Or she's not on a dating site. So it's kind of like you have to have the desire and know what you want, but then you also have to take action and allow the universe to deliver it to you halfway. So you have to create some momentum there, right? So no matter if it is with your job, your career, your, bringing abundance into your life, your health, what have you, that's what you're saying, right? You have to start somewhere, and it's about you deciding that it's time and you're going to take action.
Exactly. And it's the same kind of thing that happened with me about starting a business. I started many businesses and I made many mistakes. The chief mistake that I made is thinking I could do it all on my own.
Mm-hmm.
So I needed somebody, and I continue to use coaches or mentors, guides, what have you, to guide me through that process. So anything that you want in your life, it's important to realize that you don't have to do it all by yourself. It's not all resting on your shoulders.
And really take part in the whole idea of having support, right? I think a lot of people tend to think that support is negative or it shows weakness, which is not the case at all. It really actually helps build your business. And especially, when people do reach out to different mentors or guides or what have you in any way, like yourself, when people reach out to you and ask you to help train them and, take them through the whole process of transforming their money blocks and their money, clearings and all that kind of thing, and abundance attraction, that's all part of the process, because everybody is, I don't want to use the word level, and I never know the right word for it, but you can never compare your chapter 5 to someone's chapter 30, essentially, right? So we're all kind of in the whole game of life, and you can really get support and training from other people that have gone through different things. And that's the whole idea of mentorship and coaching, I think, right? It really is about having someone hold your hand through the process, especially when you're hooking up with a mentor. Learning from their experiences, but not necessarily copying their experiences, really tailoring it to what your needs are, right? Because we all have completely different needs when it comes to what we want to build and who we want to be, right?
Absolutely. We're all individuals.
Awesome. Well, I'm so thankful that you have joined me today. Super excited to see your challenge come out and everything that's going to be about that. Everybody, if you have been watching or going to be catching the replay, please make sure that you hook up with Genevieve. Her challenge starts on Monday, the 30th, right? April 30th. And we've got the challenge link, bit.ly/ultimateabundancech. That is the link to hook into your challenge. It's totally free. I think you would be silly not to join in. Make sure definitely that you confirm your email as soon as you sign into the challenge, because, we sign into a lot of different things, right? Unless we confirm, we're not going to be getting that information. So that's really, really important. And you can also hook up with Genevieve in her private group. I've given you the link. I said, join a G's group. And it's called, what is it called? Abundance Creation with Genevieve.
Yes.
That's the group. And that's where a lot of the action is also going to be taking place, commenting, that kind of thing during the challenge time too, right? So It's important that you are hooked in there as well. But anyway, thank you everybody for watching. I hope that next week with Genevieve, you are going to totally kickstart your abundance and your happiness and your flow of life again for the spring and the summer, because it is your time, right? We're already 4 months into the year, and it's crazy to think that already, right? Like there's only 8 months left of this year, so you really have to make like every moment count. It's so easy to sit on the couch. You know what I mean? It's so easy to not take action. It's so easy to feel, I'm going to do it tomorrow, but nothing gets done by starting tomorrow, right? So go sign into her challenge.
Absolutely. I read somewhere, I can't remember exactly where the quote came from, but something to the effect of tomorrow, it's not tomorrow isn't a date on the calendar. It's something like that. No, I know what it is. Someday isn't a day on the calendar.
Totally. I totally hear you there. And how many people really talk like that, right? They're like, no, yeah, someday I'm going to write my book. Someday I'm going to finish this. I mean, even I know that to be true, right? I've talked a lot about that in groups lately about how like a few things really dear to my heart that like are really big projects. And because I'm the type of person that gives myself multiple projects at once, I'm finding it a little bit hard to really dive into it. But you know, it's one of those things where just work on things chunk by chunk at a time, right? You will get them done, but you do have to say, I'm going to start now. I'm going to start today, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that once one takes action, even if it's, you know, small steps, whatever one has time for, it's so much easier to feel better because one knows that one is actually doing something to change one's life. So it's actually very powerful.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us. It's been so fun. And everybody, if you think somebody will enjoy the challenge, please definitely share this video with them. Genevieve is going to be having a ton of women in the challenge, and it is going to be extremely beneficial for your abundance health. It's time for you to reclaim your abundance health, right? So anyway, we will see you all next week, and have an amazing weekend. And thank you again, Genevieve.
Thank you so much, Sarah. This was so much fun.
Okay, talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.